Hello and welcome to the special presentation of Rajya Sabha TV from inside the Parliament House complex Question Hour, wherein we bring you some important questions asked by the members and the answers given by the government. I am Vishal Dahiya and with me is my colleague Akhilesh Suman.
So Vishal, let me ask you a very interesting question, and that interesting question is relating to HAL, Hindustan Aeronautical Limited. Everyone is asking and everyone is curious to know whether government has supported HAL or not and whether HAL is in profit or not. So the question is asked by Mr. V. Muralidharan. He has asked that what efforts have been done by the government to improve the capability of HAL and whether HAL has benefited from these capabilities or not. So what is the answer?
Well, you're right. In fact, this is one issue which has been hotly debated for some time now, and the answer given by the Ministry of Defence is indeed a detailed one, wherein the Minister MOS Subhash Bhamre says that during the last 3 years the efforts have been made by government to improve the capabilities of HAL, and these include to establish major servicing facility for Hawk 132 aircraft. The Government of India has sanctioned 450 crore in February 2016. Then, for repair and overhaul facility of Mk871-07 engines, another 205.65 crore rupees was sanctioned in March 2016. And for ramping up of manufacturing facility of light combat aircraft LCA Tejas from existing 8 to 16 aircraft per annum, another 1,381.04 crore rupees was sanctioned in March 2017 with 50% funding by the Government of India. For enhancement of ROH capacity of Sukhoi 30 MKI from existing 15 to 20 aircraft and aggregates from 15 to 35 aircraft sets per annum, the government has sanctioned 1,324.33 crore in April 2017. Another establishment of ROH facility for 3-line replaceable units, that is LRUs of Mk871-07 engines fitted on Hawk Mk132 aircraft. Another 60.72 crore rupees was sanctioned in August 2017. Akhilesh, the government has also given the details of investment, revenue and profit made by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited during the last 3 years. And it also says that in the financial year 2018-19 up to second quarter, that is September 2018, compared with the corresponding quarter of the previous financial year, that is 2017-18, HAL has registered 3% increase in revenue and 63% increase in the profit. Well, the next question is from the member Derek O'Brien, and this is again to the Ministry of Defence, wherein he asked the government about the percentage of Army's equipment in the vintage category, current category and state of the art category respectively, and the details. Also, whether the allocation in the defence budget is sufficient for the modernization of army equipments and whether Make in India is being utilized to modernize army's equipment. Also, the member wants to know the status of all defence projects undertaken under the Make in India initiative during the last 3 years and their details.
The government has given an interesting answer, and government has said that the modernization of armed forces is a continuous process. As a modernization and whatever holding is done, it is according to the demand and according to the threat perception. But government has said that the funds that come through the budget, all modernization and all holding up and all type of equipment purchase are done according to the funds available. But the government has said very interestingly that the whole effort of the government in these years had also been towards Make in India program, and the detail has been given that 121 contract have been signed with Indian vendors up to October 2018. So I think the way Prime Minister Narendra Modi was giving stress on Make in India program, defence is one of the major sectors which has been working on the Make in India program, and this is the answer that the whole focus on institutionalizing, streamlining and simplifying defence procurement and procedure to give boost to Make in India initiative of the government. So I am again asking you, but not on the defence. This time I am asking you about Water Resources Ministry, and the question has been asked by Saroj Pandey, and she has asked that whether government can give that number of new water resources schemes launched to provide water for irrigation in the country during the last 3 years. Very detailed answers he is asking, and the number of such schemes launched and the total amount of funds allocated for the purpose. So, it is an important question.
Well, the ministry concerned, that is the Water Resources Ministry, has given a detailed answer, and it says that Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, that is PMKSY, was launched during the year 2015-16, and various schemes of the ministry: Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program, that is AIBP, PMKSY, Har Khet Ko Pani, including Command Area Development, Surface Minor Irrigation, Repair, Renovation and Restoration, that is RRR of water bodies and groundwater bodies, became a part of it. Now, the outlay provided for these components as per the approvals from 2015-16 to 2019-20 are for AIBP, that is Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program, 11,060 crore rupees, and for the rest of the schemes, 9,050 crore rupees. Further, during 2016-17, the ministry says that 99 ongoing major or medium irrigation projects under PMKSY having ultimate irrigation potential of 76.3 lakh hectare and balance estimates of 77,595 crore have been prioritized in consultation with states for completion in phases up to December 2019, along with their command area development and water management works. Now, funding mechanism through NABARD has also been approved by the Government of India for the requisite central and state share in respect of all these projects. Well, the next question is to the Ministry of Water Resources, and this one is from member C.M. Ramesh about the repair of dams, wherein he asked the government whether it has made any survey for repair and rehabilitation work of various dams across the country, also asking for the details of amounts earmarked during the last 3 years and the details of number of repair and rehabilitation work on various dams which have been completed and those which are yet to be completed.
Right, Vishal, this is a very interesting question and a very important question, because dams are important for India, not only for irrigation purpose, but also for hydroelectricity generation. And in that way, the government has clarified that dams are generally in the domain of state governments, sometimes central and state power generation, PSUs. Some municipalities also are holding the dams and some private companies. But Ministry of Water Resources and River Development and Ganga Regeneration Ministry provides technical and financial assistance through various schemes and programs such as Dam Rehabilitation and Improvement Program, that is called DRIP. And you know that DRIP is a World Bank funded project that was started in April 2012 and scheduled to be complete in June 2020 for the rehabilitation of about 198 dam projects from the point of view of safety across 7 states of India. And these are 7 states, that is Kerala. You know that Kerala, there was a big flood last year. Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Jharkhand, that is Damodar Valley Corporation, and Uttarakhand, that is Uttarakhand Jal Vidyut Nigam Limited. Original budget outlay of the project was 2100 crores. DRIP originally was a 6-year scheme with a scheduled closing date of 30th June 2018. But the government increased the allocation, and allocation was made 3,466 crores with 2-year extension, and that is why it is now up to 2020. Each dam has a certain number of walks, and these walks are going these walks are already underway. As on date, total number of walk packages is 1,072 for 198 dams, 198 dam projects actually. And out of these, 586 walk packages have been completed. 377 walk packages are at different stages of execution, and 109 walk packages are at tendering stage. So, work is continuous as far as dams are concerned. Yes, Vishal, you know that Sri Anil Desai has asked this question, whether the Chief of International Association of Athlete Foundation has a stress on importance of school sports in India. The question is. And another question is whether India has the talented youth from rural areas to make a mark in the international arena, and if so, the adequate step that government is taking to give a fillip to the school sports in the country, particularly in the rural area.
The ministry says, first of all, that there has been no formal communication so far about the stress on the importance of school sports in India from the Chief of International Association of Athletics foundations, that's IAAF. The ministry says that sports is a state subject and development of sports, including identification of sporting talent from the country, nurturing of these talents and development of sports in school is primarily the responsibility of the state governments. The central government complements and supplements their effort in this regard, and the ministry further says that being aware about the availability of sporting talent in the country, including rural areas, it is aiming to identify and nurture them to enable them to achieve excellence in sports through the vertical of talent search and development of the Khelo India scheme implemented by the central government. Now, the annual sports competition verticals of the scheme provides the basic platform to sportspersons from both schools and universities to showcase their sporting skills and accordingly act as an avenue for talent spotting sporting talents. The ministry also says that besides this, the Khelo India scheme also provides for bridging critical sports infrastructure gaps in the country, including in the schools in rural areas. In addition, the Sports Authority of India, SAI, an autonomous organization under the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, is running several sports promotional schemes across the country, and these schemes are being run to identify the talented sportspersons in the age group of 8 to 25 years and nurture them to excel at national and international competitions. Now, many of these sportspersons identified under SAI sports promotional schemes belonging to rural, tribal, backward, coastal and inaccessible hilly areas of the country, and they are provided with training facilities in the form of expert sports coaches, requisite playing facilities, boarding and lodging, sports kit, competition exposure, educational expenses, medical insurance and stipend, and all these things are done as per the approved norms. So, quite a lot being done, Akhilesh, as far as this particular aspect is concerned. Let's now move on to the next question, and the next question is to the Ministry of Agriculture, and this one is from member Pratap Singh Bajwa, who goes on to ask the government about the salient features of the National Soil Health Card Scheme along with the number of data collection rounds conducted per year. The member also wants to know the details of budget allocated and actual amount spent since the inception of the scheme. Also, the reasons for revising the budget to half of the original amount allocated, and whether there is a proposal to simultaneously build real-time online portals that can help farmers to gain quicker access to soil health data. So, a detailed question, Akhilesh, out there as far as the National Soil Health Scheme is concerned.
Government has said that the Soil Health Card was launched in February 2015. To assist state governments in that knowing the fertility of the soil, and it is issued every 2 years, and soil health card is given to understand the the nutrient status of the soil, and it is done after harvesting is done. So that you can know that after harvesting what is the situation of the soil. And as far as the expenditure is concerned, is very interesting. When it was started in 2015, the whole allocation was 2389.58 crores, and all was released in the first year. But if you go through the next year, it came down, allocation came down, but release went up. It is really interesting. And if you go 2018-19, allocation is 30,224.98, and release up till now is 19,119.89 crore. So, that the difference between allocation and the release depend on the demand of the state, because that agriculture is the state subject, and the way state demands, the way release are done. So, it is specifically on the state governments that since this is totally centrally funded, state governments should utilize this opportunity and they should make more demand so that their farmers should be benefited.
So, that is all we have for our viewers in this section of the question hour. We will take a short break now, and on the other side of the break, Akhilesh along with our colleague Arvind Singh will bring you some more questions in Prashn Kal. Keep watching Rajasthan.